Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Ellie, and welcome to my class. This is purposive communication. One of the most essential competencies that the DepEd require for this course is to explain the process of communication. And that's what we are going to do for today's lesson. Before we start, I would like to ask you a question. Can you imagine life without communication? I don't think so. It is no doubt that communication plays a vital role in human life. Also, it helps develop relationship with others. Therefore, the importance of communication cannot be underestimated. The word communication came from two Latin words. First is communis, which means commonness, and the second one is communicare, which means to share. So, for today's lesson, this is all about the process of communication. But let us first define what communication means. Communication. Communication is the process of exchanging thoughts, ideas, feelings, and information between and among others, whether it's verbal or non-verbal, to achieve particular goal or purpose. Before we proceed to the process of communication, I will give you background about the nature of communication. First, communication is a process. When we say process, it is like a cycle. It begins from one step to another. Second, communication occurs between two or more people. Third one, communication could be expressed whether it's verbal, non-verbal, or both verbal and non-verbal at the same time. In order for us to understand more, here are the elements of communication. We have the speaker, message, encoding, channel, decoding, receiver, feedback, context, and the barrier. And these elements will explain to us its mechanics in process. This time, let me explain to you the process of communication. Do you know that the process of communication takes place or begins with the speaker? The speaker is also known as the sender of the message or information. The speaker initiates the process of communication with a specific or particular purpose. It encodes by converting messages into actions or words or other form wherein the speaker and the listener understand. The message is simply the information, thoughts, or ideas conveyed by the speaker into words or action. After that, the message is being transported through a vehicle code, channel. Channel is used as a medium in transmitting ideas or talks. It includes face-to-face conversation, video conferencing, telephone conversation, written communication, mass media, and so on. Next in line is the listener, or also known as the receiver. The receiver decodes the message. Decoding means understanding and interpreting the encoded message given or said by a sender or the speaker. When the listener or the receiver decodes the message, he or she can now make a response, also known as feedback. Feedbacks are reaction, responses, or any information provided by the receiver. It can be set through different channels. So, have you ever tried having a hard time just to cope up with good communication? Yes, sometimes misunderstanding happens because of the presence of noise. And this noise is also known as the barrier. Barriers are factors that affect the flow of communication. And we have two types of barriers. It could be external or internal. When we say external, these are barriers that happen outside. It could be a sound of dog or the dog's bark, or sound coming from a vehicle, and anything that disrupt the flow of communication. The other one is internal noise or internal barrier. This barrier happen in us. It is hard for us to control. It could be feelings, emotions, or anything that hinders a communication process. Last is the context. The context is the environment where the communication takes place. It is also the setting or the situation where the communication process occurs. The communication is a dynamic process that begins with the conceptualizing of ideas by the sender, who then transmits the message through a channel to the receiver, who in turn gives the feedback in the form of some message or signal within the given time frame. So that's it. I hope you are able to understand the process of communication. Thank you for listening. This is Teacher Ellie saying communication is lifeline of any relationship. Bye!